What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Entrepreneurs Play Crash Team Racing Part 8. We are here in Citadel City, and we are going after the CTR tokens and the relics here for the levels in here. This is where we will actually get the last of all of the colors. All of the blue ones will be here, as well as the last of the blue, green, and the two yellows that we are missing. If you noticed in Insanity Island, there was not any yellows but there were two reds. Those are that and yellow are the only colors that do not appear in every single level, or I guess island, or whatever you want to call it. Now, if you notice there, the sea is not really hard to get to. It's just that you have to be prepared for it. It can catch you off guard pretty easily, and so you always have to be watching for it and making sure that you are ready to hit it whenever it pops up. As well as the R is not too difficult, except if you do get messed up on the sea. Some of the other characters can actually hit you and mess you up. Mess the entry up to trying to get the R. You don't have to jump with the R. With the C, you do have to jump, so you want to be careful getting it. But it's not really that difficult. I'm making it seem like a lot harder than it really is. It's actually one of the easiest letters to get that is over a jump in the entire game. Thankfully, it's hard enough getting some of these letters. The T is not too difficult. You just have to make sure that you don't fall into the hole there. It's not. It is kind of difficult, or it is kind of easy to fall into the hole, but for the most part, it isn't. As long as you just hang really close to the side of the. Oh, I wonder where he came from. It is actually, you just have to drive through there. As long as you don't fall into the hole, you're pretty much good. You shouldn't have to worry about it past that. But anyway. So as I said before, for the rest of the track, all you have to do is just race it like it's the regular level, and then you can keep messing with the other racers if you want to. Try to experiment, try to find some different racing lines that you can hit that will be beneficial to you. To mess up other people, especially once we get to the gym cups. Those will definitely help you out if you're not very good at racing. Finding the racing lines will definitely help, and of course, not every single racing line will be hit by someone, but for the most part, if you try to find some racing lines, you'll usually end up hitting at least one person, and that's one less person that will come by and bother you. But anyway, so you can see Coco somehow came back from it, and Dingo finished 8th, even though Pearl was back there for so long. But that's all it takes, is just getting hit by something in the wrong spot and having everyone catch up to you. Coco really didn't get messed up by that too bad. She caught up very quickly, surprisingly quickly. I thought she was, but that hole really doesn't affect you as bad, or that jump doesn't affect you as bad as some other jumps will. If you remember when I fell trying to go after the sea, how quickly it brought me back up there. I was in first, and all it did was just drop me to 7th, and that kind of tells you how quickly you can reset onto the track from falling. Now this is the most difficult track, I would say, by far, to get every single box for, much less trying to get all of the. Oh, there we go. So I'll just try to go after all of the really easy, safe boxes. You do not want to have the, if you plan to go after every single box, you do not want to have the super speed boost pads on, because they will affect the way that you jump, the lines that you would take to jump, or the timing you would need for jumping. But of course, the jumping will help you out, or the speed will help you out, especially going through that speed tunnel. But it's kind of difficult, I mean. It would be easy to say, oh well, just don't go after any of the, don't worry about the boxes, just go for speed. Well, the speed's not going to be the only thing that can carry you throughout the entire thing. And you can see just, some of the ways that you can miss. Those are, both of those jumps you can easily miss the boxes on, and if you do, well, there's no hope for you. And so there's really no reason to continue going after the boxes if you do end up missing them. I don't believe there's any boxes on the left side, but there very well could be. Keeping all that in mind, if you do hit a lot, if you can utilize the speed from the super boost pads, and you can hit a lot of the high value time boxes, and string along enough time box combos that you freeze the clock for quite a while, that can actually come, play into your advantage, especially if you can go through that stack of, or that pile of boxes there. That will definitely help you out. A good way to try to counteract the effects of the super boost pads is to jump kind of in the middle of the boost pad itself. If you can jump in the middle, that will help you out a lot more. And I didn't think there was any boxes on the left side, but it's just it's better to go ahead and make sure, especially if you're trying to go after all of the boxes. But you can see here I have lost quite a bit of time because just running through areas that didn't have any boxes, just trying to go on speed alone. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, you want to be very careful about sections like that, where you don't have any boxes. Why I've tried to miss so many boxes at the start, and that may actually mess up my chances to get a platinum. That's actually the easiest I've ever got all those that stack of crates. I believe it's 3x3, so you have 3 on the outside and 3 vertical and horizontal, I'm pretty sure. So it kind of makes a, well, no, I think it may be 4x4. So I believe there's 16 boxes in that whole group. If I'm not mistaken, I've never actually counted the boxes, so I'm not 100% sure on that. But it is definitely a very hard platinum to get. I would definitely say the hardest platinum to get by far. I believe I said Dragon Mines was the hardest one to get, but I believe that's the hardest one to get a gold for. It just takes so long to get the gold, and so much effort and everything, that's what's bad about it. I mean, if you can get to the if you can get the gold through there, you're doing pretty good. But the platinum for Engine Labs is the by far the hardest. Well, yeah, I'd say no, I guess it's the hardest one to get all the boxes for. I'll say that. It's not hard to get the platinum for if you can manage the boxes better than what I did. It's a lot easier. I'm actually going to go ahead and save this mask because I'm going to need it for a sort of shortcut. It's not it's not really a shortcut. I'm going to go ahead and use it here. Oh, okay, yeah, here it is. I thought it was along that shortcut. If you notice that the shortcut, the kind of shortcut that I took, it just helped me bypass the turning section in there. I never take it because I like to drop people down the hole, so I don't like to take that shortcut. But whenever I do, it definitely does help. It cuts down. I think it cuts down about a second to a second and a half on my lap time, which definitely is very helpful. And especially if you don't have someone who turns very good, it can help you get through that section very easily. Just because you pretty much need outright speed to be able to jump that gap, and using someone like Pura or Coco, someone that turns well like Pura or Polar or Coco or Engine, you wouldn't be able to easily get across that little mini gap there. But if you can get across, but if you can use Dingo or Tiny, someone that can get a if someone that can get across that gap easier, it definitely helps. Maybe it's only good for about a second, but I did spin out with the with the spider, so that affected my lap time, so it's probably not, well, I don't know, I'll go ahead and take it here. This seems to be an okay lap, and so I'll go ahead and just take the shortcut. You don't need a mask to get across that shortcut. It just, the speed, the speed helps, that you can get across it pretty easily without the aid of a mask. But I just, well, there goes my lap. I guess it's okay for time. I didn't really set a good solid lap on my second lap, but if you just take one of my better laps from the first time that I raced here, you'll kind of get a better idea. If you compare those. But I do need to go through here with the green gym cup, so I can, if I can remember to, I will try to compare the lap times. But like I said, I don't take the shortcut myself. I usually like to go around the long way just so that I can get to those boxes, so that I can knock people down the holes. That's a lot more fun to me than taking the shortcuts and trying to get the fastest lap time I possibly can. But anyway, now the box placement here is also very bad, and the super boost pads can affect you here just because of that first jump. You have a very high chance of missing the boxes along that first jump than you would normally, and of course I usually end up missing those two in the back on that left turn. So it's really just up to you whether you want to run into the wall. Usually, if I can hit every single box, I will run into the back of them. You want to be careful going through there just because of the boxes. Now there's a time box right there at the, I think you can actually, well, you have to slow down to be able to get to it. And that's a bad jump, that's a bad box to get to as well. I don't know the right jumping method to be able to get to it exactly, so it's really just whatever you can think of to do. And okay, so I'm not going to worry about any of the really bad out of the way boxes. It doesn't really matter because I missed that one anyway. Now this is stupid, actually hitting the brakes to stop going, to go through there, but to get that one box that I guess it was the two box that I had to stop and hit the brakes for. Now those three boxes, you won't be able to go through there fast, but you can get them both just by just timing when you want to hit the jump, and doesn't seem to be working out too well. But the box placement for this particular track is very bad. It's definitely not one of the best tracks for box placement by far, so it's really up to you if you can hit any of the boxes. So I'm actually surprised I hit that one. I want to be careful about missing boxes like that normally. Now this one's over a gap that's not too difficult to hit. You just have to make sure that you jump the gap to be able to hit it. A good way to get around these tight corners is to tap the square button. That's wasted a little bit of time. I would say not a whole lot, but it actually did waste quite a bit of time. I don't think I'm going to carry enough speed to make it across this gap. Oh wow, okay. I'm glad I hit that. I'm glad I hit that box because that will definitely help when I'm trying to get the box going through there. But anyway, gold time is not too bad. Just trying to get every single box. That's the bad part. Because the gold time is so high, you can afford to mess around a little bit. Not too much though, because there's no point in messing around and missing the platinum time, even with a 10-second time reduction. So you have to be careful about thinking about that. If you want to look online or at a guide to figure out the platinum time, and that kind of gives you an idea of how long you can actually mess around and try to get some of the harder to get to time boxes that you may have to go slower for, or actually back up, or run into a wall with. That's a great way to do it, and it will help you, figure that kind of stuff out. But anyway, now this, of course, everything is just going to continue to get harder, but the T here is actually pretty difficult to get to, just because of especially if you have the super boost pads on. I don't think that really doesn't help you out all that much. Seemed like I had bounced off Coco and actually didn't let me continue doing that. Yeah, and the C is very bad here, especially if you don't have someone who can turn well. You will actually end up missing it. And the R is bad here too, especially if you can never get onto that shortcut, just because you can't get the right height, the height that you need. It definitely does stink while trying to go through there. And that's something you'll only see about probably once, all of the bad guys in the top 4. Just because I am using Crash, you won't see that too often, or that's probably the only time you'll see it. Pretty much just have to run into it. Oh, looks like Cortex hit it. With the super boost pads, you don't actually have to jump. With the normal boost pads on, you would have to jump to be able to get to it. So you definitely want to be careful there. But now all we have to worry about is just that really hard R, and then that's about it, really. Just while you're back in the pack, you have to be careful and try not to get hit by anything. Especially, there we go. Especially just anything pretty much. Missiles, bowling bombs, anything that you could possibly get hit by. You definitely want to be very careful of, because it usually seems like they will have bowling bombs on them a lot more often than anything else, so you always want to be careful about bowling bombs. And but also, being back in the pack this late in the race, you always want to be careful about doing that. And the other characters will lay, if they are juiced up, they will lay juiced up items down, so you want to be very careful about that. You've only ever seen them lay down unjuiced items, but if they do have the opportunity if they are juiced up and they have the opportunity to do so, they will. So you definitely want to be very careful. And I didn't see what Coco got hit by. Maybe the TNT that the Polar had laid down, coming into this really sharp turn here. Maybe it had detonated at a bad spot for her, perhaps. And poor old Tiny, he's stuck way back there. But Cortex is catching up just because of Coco's fall and I guess Cortex's or Tiny's fall. But it seems like Engine had hit whatever I had laid down. I'm surprised Dingo didn't actually hit it. But it's just fun, Tiny's having a really bad day, and that's just fun to continue to mess with him like that. I would like to keep Dingo off my back, but I don't want to knock him down a hole. And look at that, Cortex already came back to 4th, and he didn't get hit by. I guess I didn't lay it in his racing line, but see, I mean, you can turn it around by a few well-placed items. You can turn a character's race around that you messed up yourself. I knocked Cortex out, I believe, on the first lap, and then Polar helped me knock Coco down. I knocked Engine down. I knocked Tiny down. I kept Tiny back enough that Cortex had already got past Tiny. There was no hope of Tiny getting back up to Cortex or passing him. He would have needed to hit some of the other things that I had laid down that Tiny kept hitting, but anyway. So obviously with the jumps and everything, this is going to be another bad track for boxes. The box layout isn't the best. It's not like some of the earlier races. There's a lot of kind of bad lines of boxes like you've just seen there. So you have to both manage, which boxes you're going to hit and where you're going to hit them. You really need a really tight or a really well turning cart to be able to do this. These jumps are bad, kind of like that big jump in Rouge Tubes. You can see some of the boxes laid around at other points of the track. You just want to be very careful and not, you know, it's all about the pattern for the boxes. If you can hit the right patterns well every time, that will definitely help you out. You want to hit that one box that I just hit that was hidden behind that jump. You want to go ahead and knock that out early, just to, you know, make sure that you'll be able to get it. Now, if you do have the super boost pads on, you will always hit that during the time trial. You will always hit that airship, you know, the left wall there every time. I don't know why, if it's just like a precautionary thing that Naughty Dog wanted to make sure that you could get it without actually having to jump or, you know, ruin getting the other boxes. So they made sure that if you wasn't using the super boost pad cheat, that you would be able to make it, you know, anyway. Like I said, I don't know for sure. If they did, you know, that's really great. I'm glad they did do that. Okay, so I'm gonna have to try to go for those boxes that are in that really tight turn before you get to the jumps. And I would normally say go ahead and leave that box just because, you know, there's not a whole lot of boxes anywhere else, but because it's in a bad spot and it's not in my normal racing line, I'm going to go ahead and get it anyway. Because I don't think I swing wide there, I'm going to go ahead and hit that. I probably shouldn't, but just for a precautionary thing. Now you want to tap the brakes and to make sure that you can get through there, because as I said, every time you hit that jump, you will be going a lot faster than you normally would. So you want to be careful while going through there. And like I said, the box placement isn't too bad if you can get the boxes on the jump, on all the jumps and everything. You shouldn't have any trouble with it. And I have to be prepared for this. I would have hit up here first and then went down, but because that was right beside the boost pad, that would have definitely sent me going a lot faster than I would have wanted to anyway, so you want to be very careful about that. This is the last bad one. If you can get that one, that's fine and you're good. But that's all of the really bad boxes out of the way. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Wow. That sucks. Okay, well, I'm going to go through this corridor without a lot of boxes, and I'm not even going to get all of the boxes. That sucks. Again, just tapping the brakes there. I probably shouldn't do that, but that's 3 seconds and a boost pad, and that will definitely help my chances. Yeah, that sucks. One box. But that's usually the way it goes with me. I usually make it and end up missing a box. But anyway, I'm not going to really worry about it too much or complain about it. But anyway. So now we go to Oxide Station. That's another bad box placement area, but I think just like Tiny Arena, the Platinum Relic is easy to get. If I'm not mistaken. I could be, though. I may be remembering it wrong. And because I'm here just to save myself time from actually having to drive back in here over nothing, I'm going to go ahead and go to Nitro Court, and I'm going to go ahead and get this last purple CTR token as well. That's the last color that I had that's the other color that I had forgotten to mention. I don't know what that was. That was a Nitro blowing up. Now you can see here, the thing with Nitro Court is, what makes it really difficult is that there is a bunch of Nitro crates around here. They do give you 2 minutes. I will give them that. They do give you 2 minutes, but there is so many Nitro crates around here, and because this is like a courtyard, pretty much, you have more like almost like a garden type thing, where you have an outside area, an inside area, and well, you have an outside and an inside area, and anywhere in between those 2 points have crystals in them, so you have to clean out every area. You can see the crystals on the other sides of the walls while running around here. And they are more often than not covered by nitros or by TNTs like here. You can go in between the TNTs, but I find it sometimes easier just to go ahead and run through the TNTs and save yourself time and trouble. And make sure we don't miss that one. That would stink. You definitely want to try to keep a bowling bomb on you at all times, but it's not worth the time that it would take for you to hit a box just for 1 crystal. You know, if you could find a way to sneak through the nitros, I would definitely suggest go ahead and doing that. You don't need to use the power slide boost like you've seen me use in some of the other levels. You just have to make sure that you get it. Plenty of time, you know, I did mess around a little bit. I wasn't going quite as fast as I could have. I did get hit by a couple nitros. But it is actually, it's a lot easier than it seems. You know, they do give you two minutes, which is plenty of time. You know, you can actually hit a lot more nitros than that. You can run into, you can get caught by about 4 TNTs and hit about 4 nitros and still have plenty of time if you just drive like the way I was doing. But you have to make sure, if you want to do it in a pattern, you either want to start on the inside first or the outside first. I believe you start on the outside anyway, or close to the outside, so that's why I normally will do the outside. But it's totally up to you, you know, that player preference thing again. If you want to, whatever you want to do. And you know, as long as you do it in a set pattern, you know, you either start on the inside or the outside first. As long as you do that, it's a very easy CTR, CTR token to get to. There's nothing really hard about it at all, as long as you do a set pattern. But pretty much, you know, after that, it's easy. That's a shame. I was hoping that it would actually hit. Oh, wow. You want to be very careful about doing that, because this is another area, you know, that's another jump that Naughty Dog you know, increase the power on it, and if you have the super boost pads, you will overshoot it every single time. So you want to drag the brakes through the entire thing and make sure you jump at the end to be able to make sure you can get the R. And I haven't seen the T yet, which is never good. Losing letters. I think that might have been in the. Well, to be honest, I don't know where it could have been at all. Oh, wow, looks like a lot more people got caught up by Polar's accident than what I had originally thought. That's always, or maybe they hit the thing there. Aha, here's the T. Not too difficult to get to, and you can kind of drag the brakes in midair to help turn yourself, and that will help you from even getting caught on the other, you know, on the outside edge of or on the other track. It'll help you from getting caught there, as well as making sure that you don't overshoot that, fall into that, and it will also keep you from. It will help you get that R as well. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out who all has been affected by my Torment. It looks like Dingo, Polar, and Coco are the worst off. Tiny doesn't seem to have been too bad affected, because he was able to come back up pretty easily. And I'm surprised both Engine and Pura has not been affected by this at all. Little disheartening, but you know, if you watch Pura and Engine, that's a prime example of different racing lines. Like Pura and Engine was pretty close together, until that happened, but until, you know, whoa, that really actually didn't slow him down all that much. You know, until they went into that curved section, and Pura took a tighter line than Engine did, and even at the start, you know, Tiny was, even as bad as handling as Tiny is, he was beating me because he was taking the inside line into that long turn than I was, so you still have to be careful about that. You know, I mean, a character like Tiny who cannot turn, as long as they're taking the inside line, they will overcome that inability to turn and be able to pass you. It doesn't seem like the AI characters get affected by it like you normally would. If you was trying to have Tiny, it would be very, very difficult to run as tight a line going through there like that. So you have to be very careful, you know, about choosing someone like this. I mean, with Tiny or Dingo, you wouldn't be able to do what I just did there. You know, I was able to keep it on a pretty tight line going through here. You can pretty much keep a very tight line throughout this entire track, and you won't suffer for it with Crash, like even on like Tiny Arena. Like with Crash or Pura, or, you know, Crash, Cortex, Polar, or Pura. But if you have someone like a Coco or an Engine or a Dingo or Tiny, you know, you'll actually be a lot worse off, and you won't be able to do as quite tight of turns as you would have normally, you know, or with the other characters that I mentioned. But anyway, I'm just sitting here while I'm sitting there rambling on about nothing. I'm just watching the box placement and everything. They definitely seem to make it a little bit easier than some of the other tracks that are here in Citadel City. But there's a lot of them that can actually come up and that you'll end up missing just because you didn't see them. And these two boxes here that are at the jump, if you miss one of those, you know, there's like any other jump on any other track, there's no point in going after every single box. So you just have to be careful and try not to miss any. You know, any of the boxes that are around on those two jumps. On this jump here, as long as you don't hit the jump button while going through there, you shouldn't have a problem going through that one long space jump. That's another box that can jump out, and you'll end up missing. A lot of the time, you don't actually want to hit the boost pads if you want to try to go after every single box. You know, just some of these worse oddball boxes, you definitely don't want to try to hit, if at all possible. A section like this that doesn't have any boxes, you definitely want to try to hit every single boost pad that is available to you. Just remember, you know, any boxes that could come out and surprise you, like this one here. If you do hit that boost pad, your chances are a lot higher that you won't be able to get to it, and I'll probably end up missing this box here. So, yep, I didn't even get a chance to hit the jump button. I just kind of just jumped off of it. Well, that stinks. It's another time reduction that I won't get. But, well, of course. But I'll still try to get, you know, try to hit every other box that I can that will help me get a good time bonus off of them anyway. Like these going through here, definitely will help. And, you know, once you know that you missed a lot of boxes, of course you don't want to run through any one section without hitting a bunch of boxes. But you don't have, as long as there's a whole bunch of turbo pads like here, you can easily bypass all that and very easily just go through here and get it all. But anyway, so that's all the CTR tokens and the relics. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll drive to Gemstone Valley. Well, no, I guess I won't drive to Gemstone Valley. Well, I guess I could drive. I guess I'll go ahead and drive to Gemstone Valley. It doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here, and then in the next video I will do all of the Gym Cup races. But anyway, we'll go ahead and head over here. Let's see. Now there's actually a shortcut from Insanity Island to Glacier Park, and it's in the form of this door here that I guess opens up if you try to go in it from this way, but it's normally closed if you're here in Insanity Island. It doesn't really matter, you know, you can either, it's not really that big of a shortcut if you're just trying to get to Gemstone Valley from either one of those areas. And that becomes unlocked, I believe, if you get 10 relics, I believe. Is what Aku said, if I'm not mistaken. And then we can just go in here. And then you can see all the gems. All of the colored gems from the series, the red, green, blue, yellow, and purple from Crashes 2 and 3. But anyway, so let's see if I can get all of these in the shot. The draw distance for the blue one is kind of bad. There you go, you can just kind of see a bit of it there. I guess the draw distance is bad for pretty much all the gems. Well, I'll get the purple one in there anyway. So I'm sitting here wasting time at this point. So for Engine Labs, the times for Sapphire 215, Gold 134, and Platinum 53. So it's about 10 seconds off of that time, I believe. And so we'll go to Cortex Castle next. Hit the wrong thing again and went to Cortex Castle, the real Cortex Castle, not the racetrack. For times for Cortex Castle, 235 for Sapphire, Gold 204, and Platinum 132. I don't remember my time exactly, but I don't think I was that far off of it. If I hadn't missed that one box, I might have been able to get to it. But you know, I don't know for sure because, like I said, I don't remember the time that I got. So for Hot Air Skyway, Sapphire 305, Gold 234, and Platinum 202. I don't think I was very far off that one either, but I could have been. I don't remember for sure. Of course, they won't tell you if you look at them. Like here, they won't tell you the times for none of this. But that's pretty good. 8 golds and 8 platinums. That's not too bad. For Oxide Station, Sapphire 117, Gold 256, and Platinum 234. So this is definitely a track that you can mess around on if you want to. I don't suggest it, but it is there if you want to. But anyway, so thanks for watching. There will not be a challenges video because this is an informational video. Next time we will do all of the gym challenges, or all the gym cups and the 2 race tracks that I have unlocked. You know, at the entrance to Insanity Island back there. So until then, later everyone.